Hello everybody, this is Vibrex here, and we're back again with another Stanley Parable episode 2. So, yeah, let's just start our game. Which one was it? Pretty sure it was this one. Okay, I want to try something. I want to try listening to, the narrator. So, is that new? Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna go listen to the narrator.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, so we're just gonna enter our door on the left.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Alright, so we don't have to type in the pin.
Descending deeper into the building,
Okay.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm gonna go escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Nope, we're going for it.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okay, this is new. Not been to this. Oh, did he just die? I'll be stupid if I just did it. I feel like the narrator is lying a little bit though. Knew it. But maybe not.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh my, you just demolished that. Alright. Yeah, that's what
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the
Who's
enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What
The
exactly
Stanley
did
Parable.
the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
2 doors. The set of 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Oh, so it's the 2 doors. So yeah, this is the office. Go in here, the 2 doors, and then yeah, we went on the left, so we went, yeah. This is our office right here. 427. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Okay. So that's 430, I think. What's this? Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Okay. Okay. Nature paintings. Just a leaf, some dew on it. Mountainscape. Mountains. Valleys. Little trail. Ocean. Then, what is that? The horizon of the sun. Is that ocean? I don't know. Alright. So now, the office. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Okay. Credits. The Stanley Parable, written and designed by Davey Written and William Poe. Okay. The office computers. The solitary. Filing cabinets. The office. 431, 436. The maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Oh wow, that's how it looked like? Now it looks like hell and it's really dark. Warzone. Hey, I just played that the other day. Warzone early in development. We designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become citizen and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it is far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which is not our intention. Jeez. Tron vibes. Greenlight. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which are still enough to win the community's approval. I feel like this is the end, but it's not. That's just a clock. I thought I heard steps. Narrator's email. Subject gay. What the heck? The lounge. Early version of the lounge. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. I thought something was gonna happen. The apartment timer. In the previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up a phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. So this just tells me what's gonna happen. Cargo lift. Oh yeah, there's supposed to be another ending. Cargo lift. Yeah, we're gonna do that soon. Game design mock-up. Exit. Monitor room, elevator. Countdown room. Early version of the countdown room. Dang, this is rich in monitors, dang. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. How do I get down there? Time to go to the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No.
What happened?
Perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Oh. Wow, that's sad. It's a nice ending. Is that all? Wait, guys, I'm gonna wait for like a couple of minutes on this black screen. I just want to see what happens. Alright, if nothing happens. Stuff is changing drastically, guys.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers.
What is
he never
happening?
functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Input received. What is this? What does this do? It says input received, so like click on it? No. Wait. Wait a minute. I think I closed it by accident.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, I'm gonna enter the door on my right this time. I'm gonna go straight this time, guys.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
Should I go on
Stanley,
this?
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story
I didn't
and
know he
no
could
one
do
gets
that.
to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna... There's no more papers on the
All
ground.
his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Alright, now I'm gonna go on the cargo and I'm not gonna fall this time.
When Stanley go.
Alright, so we're actually not
Look,
gonna fall
Stanley,
this
I
time.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Should I pick up the phone? I don't think I should. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Because I saw earlier, if you don't pick up the phone for 15 seconds, something happens. Or they said an apartment room. So, is this the apartment room? Don't know. Alright, I guess we have to.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, There we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Kind of scared me.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
So what's so cool about that? Is that it? Is this just the? Is this all? I'm guessing this is an ending too. Oh my gosh. Can I sneak out of here? Nice chair. Alright. So can't do that. Alright, I'm gonna start. Press H on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and
Press
every
H.
button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press Z.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Yeah, there's something wrong with my game. Like if I have to press F6 and then it won't spin around. But if I press escape, this is what happens. So I don't know why. So I have to like cancel it out by moving my mouse.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Okay. See, and then I have to do this again. I press escape and press F.
And so he began to
press F6.
fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
So this is the apartment room.
The thought excited him terribly. So, he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
So pretty sure that's all, guys, for this ending. Yeah, there's something wrong with my game. So if you guys can tell me like a fix in the comments, that'll be nice. I'm also gonna try reinstalling my game. So yeah, let's start over from the beginning again. See, this happens. I don't know why. I have to press F6 to fix it. Basically, it saved.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm gonna go downstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Yeah.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
That's Stanley
And for
Parable.
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at
Maybe
last,
11,
he
12.
came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
This
is all a
Could be a code.
dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Ooh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
Now there's clocks.
Was Stanley simply
Before there
deceiving
wasn't.
himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley
Maybe
is
there
as
was.
awake right now
Yeah, there
as
is.
he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What happened?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Another bad ending.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh. Oh. This is different. This is different now, guys. Oh. Maybe I'm just...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, I'm gonna enter my door on my left. Now we just go down. Alright. We're gonna see there. Alright guys, so we're gonna see if anything changed. So yeah.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true name meant nothing. This mind control facility. One else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh no, this is the nuke.
But here was the proof. The heart. And when at last he found the source of the...
Turn it off.
That things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So is that the true ending? I don't know. Alright, now I'm just gonna go look around, see if anything
All
actually
of his
changed.
co-workers were gone. What?
Okay, now, when I go through here, it should be the two doors. Right? I forgot. Yeah, there should be two doors right here, but then it changes. Let me go back, just in case that this is Stanley Parable. Oh. You know, Stanley Parable. You go somewhere, it changes, and you go backwards. Yeah, that's Stanley Parable for you.
When Stanley came to a set of...
I think I beat the game. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Let me know if there's more endings. I don't think there is, because I got an achievement like earlier saying the true ending for the one where the black goes down and the light, you go out. So yeah guys, that's gonna be pretty much all for this episode. If you guys like this, subscribe, like, and I'm pretty sure that those are all the endings. Let me know in the comments if there's more. I'm not sure if there is any more, but yeah guys, that's gonna be pretty much all for this episode. I'll see you guys later.